Hello there. Last night, a gushing and effusive UK Prime Minister laid out the stark reality of where the establishment's uni-party system intends to take our country. I find it amazing that our political classes, who have done all they can over the past decades to strip religion, in the form of Christianity, out of our political system, are now so hell-bent on reinserting it in the form of another faith. With the blessing, it seems, of His Majesty the King, who started this ball rolling at the weekend with a similar event at Windsor Castle. Here's what Keir Starmer said last night in our Parliament's Westminster Hall.
I absolutely wanted to be here for today, for this event, and to have the first of these events here in Westminster Hall is really, really fantastic. I want to start by thanking the speakers of both houses for hosting this event. I think that shows the strength of unity and also to the APPG, of course, on British Muslims for organising it. It's fantastic to be able to get so many people here together in such a symbolic way, in such a symbolic place. So it is absolutely fantastic to be with you as people gather in homes, in mosques and communities around the country during this special season. Come together in charity and service and welcome people of all faiths and none for an iftar. Now don't worry, I'm not going to speak for too long because I hear the food tonight is fantastic and we all want to get to that sooner rather than later. But it's excellent to be here to celebrate with you, and not just to celebrate, to say thank you. Thank you for the incredible contribution of British Muslims to the United Kingdom, something we're really proud of across the whole of our society. In every community in Britain, you see Muslims making a difference, helping to deliver every single one of the government's missions. In business, helping to grow our economy. In education, giving our young people the opportunities that they deserve. In our NHS, of course. In charity work, British Muslims are amongst the most generous group in the United Kingdom and beyond. So I must say thank you to you for all of that, and particularly what I know has been a very difficult time for Muslims here in the United Kingdom, with the pain of the conflict in Gaza and the suffering of the Palestinians. I've been profoundly moved.
And we are, of course, expected to welcome and celebrate this, aren't we? Although it is far from the secularism our deranged woke left say they are seeking. And I haven't heard Starmer gush in the same way about Christians and the Christian period of Lent, though, which also involves fasting and is taking place right now. Maybe Christianity is not his cup of tea. Maybe to him Christians and Christianity are not important. Maybe he thinks there are not enough Christian votes out there for him to be bothered with it. Non-Christian religious events are being celebrated by the establishment more and more above those of our traditional heritage. Christmas to become Winterval, Easter to become Spring Festival, or not even mentioned. But would anyone ever dare to rename or ignore those new to our shores religious festivals? You can bet your horse and cart they wouldn't. Now comes the warning. Do not openly criticise this on social media, because once the new blasphemy laws that are coming fast down the legislation pipe are given royal assent by the King, our dutiful plod will be on their computer screens in force, hunting social media miscreants down to serve a couple of years or more in jail. And it won't save you to claim that you posted the comments prior to the law coming into force, because all it takes is for someone to click on the link to your comments after the law comes into force for it to be deemed as republished that very day. Anyway, it appears that the woke left and one particular religion are in an uncomfortable alliance to change this country forever into something it never was. From rewriting our history to repurposing our heritage, they are hard at work dismantling our connections with our past. But the real question is, which of the two, the woke left or the now preferred demographic, which of those will win out in the end, if we let them? Because when looking at their core beliefs, there can only be one survivor. But looking through social media, you can see that only a small minority are in favour of all of this. In fact, the vast majority are getting more uncomfortable and more angry by the day about what is being foisted on them. But we now live within a political system that views the majority population as those that exist only to cater for the preferred minorities, whatever they may be on the day. If only the majority would bow to all the minorities, then there would be eternal peace, goes the mantra. Well, wake up call for the numpties. That is actually tyranny by minority. It is not democracy. Democracy is about the majority. But that is not what we experience in the UK. And a big part of that new rule by minority is shutting down freedom of expression and imposing blasphemy laws on us. And I include the blaspheming criticism of the religion of net zero within all of that as well. The blindingly obvious truth is that our political classes are chasing minority approval. Make them suffer for this at the next election, while we still can. But all this is happening while the government distracts us with the vision of a possible wider European war. Because yesterday the Prime Minister also turned the decades-long mantra of the woke left that defence of the nation, especially if it enriches arms manufacturers, is evil. Now suddenly Keir Starmer is saying this: economic security is national security. Increased defence spending will benefit every region and nation of the UK. Now, as you may be aware, I totally believe we do need to increase our defence spending. A lot. But let's be truthful about it. Most people know we as a nation are broke. To up defence spending to the required level without bankrupting the nation, we need to cut back on other government departments. Massively. The end result will therefore probably be much the same amount of government spending and much the same level of employment. And to achieve that, we would have to replace all those bureaucratic non-jobs into hard manufacturing jobs. Whole swathes of woke, DEI and net zero jobs would thankfully have to be culled. So no jobs boom overall then, just in one sector at the expense of others. And now we get to the cheap energy that net zero can never provide. The cheap energy that we need to build the missiles, shells, tanks, ships and planes we need. Hence, we would need to scrap net zero. And under the current regime here, that just ain't gonna happen. Also, to make such a defence drive sustainable, it would need the guarantee of continuous government manufacturing orders for decades. Without that, there will be no investment in the jobs and factories. Further, it would also require a massive UK defence equipment marketing drive to sell our weapons around the world at profit. To supply end users like, well, Israel so it can defend itself. How many workers of a certain demographic and their supporters will be protesting hard against that every weekend? And how many employees could such firms actually trust, especially if the current DEI rules are enforced during hiring? It's only when you think about this sort of stuff that you realise what a political and religious basket case the UK has become. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and check out our other channel, Tripe and Whatnot, link in the descriptions box below. And thank you for watching.